been doing this thing lately where like I hype myself up before I start the video. I don't know, it's really weird. Like I start like hype myself up like I'm about to like perform or something. I'm like, and I'm like hyping myself up really bad. I don't know, but it's really helping a lot to get through like the nervousness of getting in front of the camera a little bit. But yeah, just so you know, Juan from q.v.o Games hypes himself up before doing a video. It's kind of like pre-pumping at the gym or something like that. I don't know what they call it. Regardless, guys, welcome back to q.v.o Games. My name is Juan, and today we're doing a March 22 haul video. Board games added to the collection, what's coming in, and honestly, it's been a pretty good month. It wasn't too crazy. I didn't go on a crazy spending spree like I usually do. Yeah, honestly, it was I'm pretty proud of myself because, like I said, I didn't really spend as much, and a lot of the games that I have in are more retail. I don't think, actually that's a lie, I did back a lot of games. I was going to say I didn't think I backed a lot of games, but I definitely did back a lot of games. But only one Kickstarter game came in March. Yeah, so let's get started. Just going to go over the collection, and not over the collection, over the new games added to the collection. And we're going to start off with Arkham Horror Edge of the Earth Investigator expansion. So Arkham Horror is an LCG game. It's a cooperative game with 4 players. This is specifically just an expansion to add more characters to play as. Investigator expansion. This is part of the reprint as well, and I've actually been aching to get into Arkham Horror and buying more of the stuff. However, I've been waiting for all the reprint stuff to come out, which is, this is one of them, and I finally got it in March. I was waiting for it for a while. It's been out for a long time, actually. This is definitely not something that just came out. 2021, I believe it was out, but I decided to buy it now. Cool. Yeah, Arkham Horror is your basically a Mythos, Lovecraft kind of game where you're going through with cards and you can pre-build your deck and you are pulling cards to defeat a monster and pass a scenario. That's kind of the small gist of the game. And this is just based on expansion. Just adds more investigators, more characters to play as. The game is fun. I've been playing a lot lately with a couple of friends, and the thing is about the game that I would say is that you have to definitely play the campaign more. Because it kind of feels better when you play it through a whole campaign, not just a scenario. It just feels more rewarding that way. There's other games that you can play one time and then you can just put the game away and never play it again if you don't want to, and you end up satisfied. I guess it's a whole session, right? This plays a little bit more different than that. So just keeping that in mind. Yeah, that's basically all I got for this one. Super fun. Buy Fantasy Flight Games, by the way, as well. Can't forget them. Cool. This next game from the publisher is called Luna Capital, and it's by q.v.o Games. I mentioned I started off that way with introductions because I really believe q.v.o Games are doing some really cool stuff and publishing some great games. This game is not new, by the way. I believe it's at least a year old. I'm not entirely sure, but it's like an astronomical investment game, and the thing that pulled me in a lot more is the art. So the thing about me and board games is that I love the art. The art has to pull me in. If the art doesn't catch my attention right away, tough luck. It's hard for me to play the game. Doesn't mean I wouldn't play it if someone recommended it. I just typically would not pick it up if the art didn't attract me. It's kind of like the ooh shiny thing. Don't know if I don't know if it's called, I don't know what it is. But I don't know what the problem is, but definitely it catches my attention first, and then I play the game. And Luna Capital definitely has captured my attention, and I want to play it really bad. Same thing with Bitoku, actually, by q.v.o Games. Another game that really caught my attention, and by the art itself, it actually isn't... I have a love-hate relationship with Bitoku. We'll talk about it in a different video, or go watch my review, I guess, of Bitoku. But yeah, Luna Capital came in, and I am really excited to play this. I have been wanting to play this for the longest time, but I believe it's been out of print, or my local gaming stores just have not had it in stock. So now that they have it in stock, I picked it up right away, and yeah, we're here now. By q.v.o Games. I think definitely someone to watch, and another publisher who has made these expansions that I'm about to pull out. Mind Clash Games, another publisher to be looking out for. I am really excited to see what they have coming up next, and I think I backed Voidfall recently by them on q.v.o. Yes, Voidfall. I almost thought someone else. No, it definitely was Voidfall. I back that, and I back almost everything they have on Kickstarter at this point. I'm always just looking to see what they have published and what they're doing next. So, Anachrony is a worker placement type of game based in the future. We have exosuits, and you're building like mechs essentially. And this is just a classic expansion that adds more modules to the game itself. I haven't really done like a review or an overview of the game yet, but I definitely plan to. I want to get it more to the table as well. Anachrony is actually a really fun game, and I love the way it looks. It looks a little different than most other worker placement games. I mean, you're not really just farming wine, no hate or shade anywhere else, but it's a little different, and I like that. The theme specifically. And yeah, this is just the classic expansion. Doesn't really, I wouldn't say it doesn't really add too much. I want to say I haven't really looked into it too much, but it definitely does add some more variety to the gameplay. It adds more variety to the gameplay. There's one more thing, and I can't remember right now. It's not crossing my mind. However, let's go on to the next thing. By Mind Clash Games, and it's going to be the backwards infinity box. This way. The infinity box. This is actually really big. It's large. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, it's the size of my torso, if not more. Definitely the size of my torso. So the infinity box for Anachrony is basically just a storage solution to store everything in Anachrony. The moment I heard there was one of these, I wanted it right away. I love Anachrony, and having everything stored in one big box like this just makes you feel a little more, makes you feel a little like more cooler. I feel. I don't know. I like it a lot. It looks nicer. It has a lot of like storage components as well. Storage, like game trays kind of thing to store everything nicely. Easier to table. The thing is, fitting it is kind of my worry. I actually think it would fit probably like this in one of the cubes, but I think just find somewhere where it to go. Usually up top, I put like all my tall games and I line them up in like kind of lines, so this might end up going there. And the extra box, I'll probably just put them away and just have them in a box somewhere. I'm not really big on throwing things away when they're like game boxes. If I store, like for example, if I buy an organizer for a game and it stores all the expansions, and the expansions are like boxes, and I just store the expansions away and I just keep them still. I don't throw stuff away like that. I don't know. I'm really sensitive about my stuff, and I like taking care of my stuff or my things. So that's kind of a thing of why I don't throw things away typically. So this next one, we do have a Kickstarter in. There's 5 items total. Kickstarters, I'm going to count it all as one big item because it all came together. And I think you can't play one thing without the other thing. But the Kickstarter that came in is a lot of stuff. Root, the tabletop role-playing game. Root, the role-playing game came in, and I got the deluxe edition, so it came with the, of course, the satchel, and it looks super nice. I like it a lot. And it came with the GM screen, campaign notepad, the faction dice set, the clearing. Basically, it's a clearing booklet which is supplement to the Root RPG, and yeah, and it also came with a bunch of things. I still consider it one big item, by the way. Only 5 items total. Little maps here, of course, along with the equipment deck and the Denzian's deck. Cool. If you haven't heard of Root before, Root is actually also a tabletop game. It's also a board game, and it's a area control asymmetrical board game where you're playing as woodland creatures who are up against each other in like an all-out war. This is going to be the core. This is going to be basically the tabletop RPG game, which is more of like, for example, D&D. I've actually been playing a lot of D&D games lately, and a lot of role-playing games lately, and I'm excited just to look into this and see how it goes. I've really enjoyed myself playing other types of systems and venturing out of D&D. D&D is like my foundation to role-playing games, and venturing out of that is kind of the goal because I want to experience all these, and these look super. I mean, this also looks super nice. I haven't opened it yet, but if you look right there, it's more of a thing. You know what? Let's open it. Let's do it. And let's show everybody how these look. A little bit random, off topic. Just I don't want to make these videos too long. I think I mentioned that before in a previous video. But wow, look at that. Yeah, that's great. So, and unfortunately, the way I set up my light, it's right there. So I'm trying to make sure you guys can still see it. The back here, yeah. Looks beautiful. I really like the way this looks. Oh, do not want to get it dirty. Get my oily hands all over it. So yeah, it's basically just a deluxe set that carries both in a sleeve, which is always great because I definitely like my stuff being taken care of and being well organized. Yeah, that was honestly really it. It was only 5 things for the March haul, which like I said, I'm super proud. One thing to keep in mind from this video that I want to make sure I say is that keep in mind for retail games, like we sometimes tend to get lost in the Kickstarter and the crowdfunding, all these crowdfunded games, that we forget that there's actually a lot of great retail games available. Luna Capital is a great game. I played it once at my local gaming store, and that's kind of what inspired me to actually want to purchase it now, and also the art was beautiful. Just keep in mind there's a lot of games out that we don't have to crowdfund everything. That's kind of what I want to try pushing a little more, is there's retail games out that are great games, and we tend to forget about the fact that like we don't have to drop $200 for an all-in game on crowdfunding. Separate video that we discuss that stuff because I don't want to get too deep into that. That was the March haul. If you made it this far, please comment, like, subscribe. Let me know how you liked the video. Reach out to me, message me on Instagram or even Discord. Yeah, let's chat, play some games, and let me know what you think. Thank you. Juan for q.v.o Games. Bye. That was a weird way to say goodbye. Huh.